Hi everyone, Merry Christmas to you guys. I hope you're enjoying this Christmas and I hope you do justice to your chickens that you killed for this Christmas. I'm happy we celebrate this Christmas in peace and enjoy. I hope you all celebrate this Christmas with your family. No form of any issues, so we actually thank God. So in today's video I will be sharing with you secrets on how to raise a baby chicks with no death. I mean a baby chicks with a zero mortality. So I'll be sharing with you today. So have you ever raised a baby chicks before? What are your challenges? I mean, what are the things that you face? I want you to kindly comment in these comments down there. So share your personal issue, your stories with me. I want to hear your own part of you. Actually I raised my, but nothing happens to them. But the first time that I actually tried it, I discovered that some of the chicks died, but now I have gotten it and I raised them and nothing happens to them this time around. So let's start this video. So in today's video, like I said earlier, I'll be sharing with you secrets on how to raise a baby chick with a zero death. So to raise a baby chick with a zero death, there are some things that you need to put into consideration before you could start and run a successful this type of business. Now, number one is to get the appropriate breed of chicken for a trustworthy breeders. What I mean is get this particular chick from someone that actually the person must be a trustworthy someone that will actually give you the right breed of chickens to rear and not the bad ones. Like maybe this video, maybe you might be this is the first time of raising this particular type of baby chicks, so you might not have all the informations about it. So getting it from the wrong person might actually lead you to it. Might actually lead into a loss. So you must get it from the right and trustworthy someone that actually knows about the breed of chickens. That give you all the full information that this particular chickens that I'm supplying to you is a good breed of chickens. The second thing is the construction of the house for the baby's chickens. These particular baby chickens, you can't build a cage for them. So if you are going into a commercial farming and you are actually trying to raise a baby chick, you can't build a cage, a battery cage system house for them. You need to construct a very big building for them. So inside the building, you can't just flood the ground with cement or concrete and just do it with concrete and leave it for the baby chick to actually stay on top. As a human being, we can't rest and we can't sleep on a rough surface. So likewise to our baby's chick also. But you need to get a very big house for them, like a poultry build house. Build a very good house for them. Then inside the floor, you need to use a litter. A litter is just like a piece of wood that I'm actually gotten from wood mill. Then that is what calls a litter. So a litter is like a piece of wood that you can pour on the surface of the cement or the floor before you could put your baby chicks inside. Meanwhile, getting the litter don't actually means that you are going to put your baby chicks on top of the litter just like that. When you get the litters and you put inside your house, first before you keep your baby chicks inside, then you need to get a carbon paper. A carbon paper is just like, you all know carbon paper, right? You get a carbon paper, then you spread it on the surface of the litter before putting your breads on top of the carbon paper before you could start feeding your baby's chicks. You can't just put them inside the litter. Those chicks, they are very small. They can't even separate between a litter and the feed that they are going to eat, they can't separate. I mean, they don't even know the difference. So you putting them on top is actually that you are even exposing them to disease easily, because inside that litter they can pick out the particles, they can pick out this litter and started eating it, and it will cause damages to them. Or they will just pick it and start feeding it. You just see that your chickens will start dying. And what we are trying to say today is to raise a chick with zero death. So you need to get the carbon paper, place it on top of the litter before you coat your poultry bed on top of the carbon paper before you start feeding. But whenever you feed them for like 3 to 4 weeks or 5 weeks thereabout, you know, by that time their feather might have come out. I mean, hair might have started coming out of their body. They'll start growing feathers, and so they'll start differentiating between the litter and a food. By that time, they can remove that carbon paper and put them on top of the litter, because poultry bed, they like a place that is very soft, not a rough area. Then the number 3 things is, lighting. Light is a very good thing, because these particular baby chicks that are trying to raise, they didn't have mothers that will use feather to hold them tight or to keep them warm whenever they are cold and things like that. So you need to get a light for them. The light must be light enough for you to see the thing that you are reading. Like if you are reading, the light must be light enough to see each word of the written word inside that book that we're actually reading. So the light must be light enough for the chicks to see where the feed is, where the water is, and the rest of things before they start feeding. You need to get a very bright light for them. You can get the light, the lantern, the electric bulbs, the candle, and some other things that you actually feel that will actually generate light for this particular breed. Then the number 3 things is varieties of breed that you are actually trying to raise. It's very, very important. If you are thinking on raising a day old or a baby's chicks, a broiler baby's chicks, then you actually need some feeding equipment and some other things that will keep them actually warm. And if you are trying to raise a layers, also likewise to layers, you're going to get their feeding equipment and some other things that need to put into place before you could start raising these particular layers. Actually, broiler will actually grow feather faster than the layers, right? So just decide on the varieties of baby chicks that you actually want to raise. Very, very important. If you don't want any death to occur to your poultry bed, you need to decide on the type of breed of chicks that are trying to raise or they are trying to bruise. If you actually don't know what bruising means, bruising is just a process of raising a day-old chicks or a baby chicks. That is what brooding means. Then the number 3 thing is heat. Generating of heat. Number 4 thing, generating of heat. Heating is very, very important. Like I said earlier, these particular baby chicks, they didn't have mother that we actually use the feather to cover them up whenever they are cold or whenever they are feeling somehow. So you need to generate a heat. You can use different things to generate this heat for your baby chicks. It can be the electric bulb that is fixed inside the house that actually generates heat for them, or a charcoal. Some other people use kerosene and pour it inside a lighter before they could start to generate heat for this particular day old chick. But I'll actually advise you to use the charcoal instead of using the kerosene one that I actually mentioned, because the kerosene one, because during that process the smoke that is releasing from that kerosene is carbon monoxide, and it's going to cause damages to your day-old chicks or your baby's chicks rather. So use the charcoal. Use charcoal to generate heat for your poultry bed, I mean for your day-old chicks or for your baby chicks, use charcoals. You can actually use any other form of ways of generating heat for your day-old chicks or for baby chicks. It all depends on it all depends on how fast with that particular instrument they are going to use to generate this heat, to generate more heat to your poultry bed. And in that process of generating heat to your poultry bed also, you need to be very careful, because if you are generating heat for your poultry bed, you need to consider the temperature of that room first. Then you can, after consider the temperature of that room, you can actually understand from the behavior of the chickens, actually the baby chicks. Actually, whenever you bring in these day-old chicks or these baby chicks, if you see that the place that you kept them, they're actually running away from the instrument that you use to generate this heat for them, then that actually shows that the heat is too much in that particular area. So you need to reduce the heat a little bit for the chickens to absorb to the normal temperature that they actually want. And whenever you see that these chickens, they are actually overcrowding themselves in one area, choking themselves in one area, then that actually should show you that those particular chicks, they are feeling cold and they actually need an instrument that will generate heat for them. Maybe that heat is actually not hot enough for them, so you need to increase the heat a little bit to make the chickens to adapt to the particular one they actually want. Why the number 3 things is the number 5 things is the feeder. We actually need to, you get a baby feeder for the chickens. They are not yet matured, so you need to get a baby feeder for the chickens. The baby feeder is just round, a round stuff. Then you put the feed inside. You keep your chickens inside that place, then they will start feeding. Like I said earlier, you are going to build a very big building for your day-old chicks or for your baby chicks, so you can't just keep your baby chicks inside the house just like that. You need to get a plywood, then you make a circle. Whenever you build a very big building for your chickens, that actually means that you are going to bring 1,000 number of chickens to that particular building. So you need to get a plywood, then you make a circle around the carbon paper that you place on the top of the litter that I said earlier. So you keep the chicks inside. You separate them in different ways. They are very small, so you can't keep them just on a rough surface or on a plain shape just like that. So you need to get a plywood. You can actually get a carbon paper also. If you didn't have money for the plywood, get a carbon paper, you make a circle around, then you keep your day-old chicks inside that particular carbon paper before you could start feeding them. Like I said, get a baby feeder for them, then you put the feed inside. They are very small, so in that first week that you actually brought in the birds, you need to feed them, and you always need to feed them every day. Then you need to change their feeder, wash their feeder every day also. Then their drinkers, you need to change their water every 3 times in a day. They are very small, so in order for them not to actually adapt to disease or to contact disease easily, like we said, raising a baby's chicks weight is 0 death. So all this, if you put this into consideration, you see that you run a very good day-old chicks without no mortality. Then number 5 is taking care of your day-old chicks. It's very important. We need to take a very good care of our day-old chicks or our baby chicks. They are very small, so you are like their mother in that process. So since they didn't have mother to take care of them, so you are their mother, so you need to take a very good care of them. So during the process of building their house, you must make sure there's no space where snakes will come into your baby chicks house to come and eat them off, or or cat, especially cat. Cat is a very bad animal that can actually affect your baby's chicks easily. They can kill thousands of them, and actually you will run into locks. And as we said, raising a baby's chick with zero death and zero mortality also. So you need to avoid a situation whereby the house we have an escape or a place where snake or rabbit or cat will come into the chicken's house to start eating all the baby's chicks. So this secret, I hope this secret is an amazing for you guys, and I hope if you practice this secret, you're going to run a very successful baby's chicks farm with zero mortality. So if you are new, if you are new in this channel and you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please kindly do that. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I will drop a new video or a new content like this for you. So I love you guys. Celebrate your Christmas, enjoy with your families. Till we meet in the next video. I remain myself, Julius Obasojo. Bye bye for now.